It happened in a flash. A tennis star had just won his match. A kid near the court reached out for a souvenir, but before he could grab it, a grown man, a millionaire, CEO, snatched it from his hands on live TV in front of millions. The internet saw it all, but what unfolded next wasn't just outrage. It turned into a global hunt, a digital takedown, and the complete unraveling of a man's reputation. This is the wild story of the US Open hat scandal, and how one impulsive grab became the moment that redefined a public figure. It was supposed to be a heartwarming moment, the kind of thing fans remember for the rest of their lives. Polish tennis player Kamil Majchrzak had just won his match at the US Open. As the crowd cheered, he walked toward the stands, spotted a young fan named Brock, and offered him his hat. A small gesture, but one that meant everything to the kid. And then, just before the cap touched the boy's hands, someone else reached in. A man, older, dressed sharply, lunged forward and took the hat. Just like that, the boy's face said it all. Shock, confusion, heartbreak. He tried to protest, but it was already too late. And unfortunately, for the man who grabbed it, the cameras caught everything. But that was just the beginning. Within hours, the internet did what it always does when a clip goes viral. It started digging. Who was this man? Why did he steal from a child? And what kind of person does that? On national TV, online sleuths didn't take long. They tracked him down quickly. Piotr Szczerek, a wealthy Polish CEO who runs a large construction firm called DROGBRUK. Now, this wasn't just a random fan being greedy. This was a millionaire businessman, someone who should have known better. The scandal had a name, a face, and a corporate brand attached to it. And that's when the internet exploded. The moment the CEO's identity was confirmed, the backlash lit up. Comment sections flooded. Memes hit Twitter, Reddit, TikTok. Headlines didn't talk about tennis, they talked about theft, entitlement, and embarrassment. Even Google search results for DROGBRUK started showing memes and angry threads instead of business information. It was a full-blown digital takedown. What should have been a feel-good moment at a sporting event turned into the kind of nightmare that no PR team can spin, and the pressure kept building. While the CEO vanished from the spotlight, hoping the storm would pass, someone else was already working behind the scenes to make things right. The tennis player, Kamil Majchrzak, hadn't planned to become part of a viral controversy. For him, it was supposed to be a quick gesture, a post-match thank you to a young fan who showed up to support him. But once the clip exploded and the headlines rolled in, he realized he couldn't ignore what happened. So, he did what the CEO hadn't. He took responsibility, even though it wasn't his fault. Majchrzak went to social media with a simple but powerful message. He asked for help finding the boy in the video. No PR team, no polished statement, just a genuine call to action. And the internet responded. Within hours, fans had tracked down the child, a boy named Brock, the same kid who had stood stunned in the stands as the hat was ripped from his hands. And this time, the moment went the way it was supposed to. Majchrzak invited Brock to meet him in person. Cameras captured the reunion, but this wasn't a stunt or a photo op. It was about restoring a small moment that had been stolen. The tennis star signed autographs, handed over more memorabilia, spent time talking with Brock and his family, and made sure the kid walked away with a smile, not a scar from a bad memory. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. On one side, a wealthy businessman, silent, defensive, and hidden behind a carefully worded statement. On the other, a young athlete stepping up, fixing a moment that was never his fault, and turning a viral controversy into something good. People online noticed the difference too. Comments flooded in praising Majchrzak's character, calling him a real role model, and the hero the moment needed. Some even joked that the tennis player deserved the CEO's job. But beneath the praise was something more powerful. The sense that kindness, when shown with no agenda, still matters. And that in a world where scandals spread faster than facts, moments of decency still break through. But while the player made amends, the CEO was about to learn that silence only works for so long. Days after the incident, Piotr finally broke his silence. He posted a formal statement on his company's website. According to him, it was all just a misunderstanding. He claimed he believed the hat was being handed to his sons, not to the boy in the video. He said it was chaotic, and he truly thought the player was offering it to his family. He apologized to Brock, to the tennis star, and to fans around the world. But people weren't buying it. One particular line stood out. He referred to the boy as injured. Was that an awkward translation? Did he mean emotionally hurt? Or did he think he'd physically harm the kid? Either way, the internet wasn't convinced. And that's when people hit rewind. When Piotr posted his apology, he claimed it was a misunderstanding. He thought the hat was being handed to his sons. He apologized to the boy, the tennis player, and the public, but the internet wasn't buying it because the video told a different story. In the clip, Majchrzak clearly moves toward the child, not Szczerek. The boy reaches out with a smile, and just as he's about to grab the cap, Szczerek leans in and snatches it. No hesitation, no confusion. The boy even protests, saying something like, "So no, what are you doing?" But Szczerek holds on. If this was really a mix-up, why ignore the boy's reaction? Why not give the cap back the moment it was clear something was wrong? People started pointing out the obvious. The apology and the footage didn't match. One showed confusion, the other showed confidence, even entitlement. And then there was the word injured. In his statement, Szczerek called the boy injured, which only raised more questions. Emotional harm? A bad translation? No one knew, but it didn't help. Online reactions summed it up. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. The video doesn't lie. To many, the apology felt less like an honest confession and more like scripted damage control. And the backlash was just getting started. As the internet kept chewing on the footage, new claims started surfacing. Some posts said Szczerek snapped at the kid, allegedly saying, "If you were faster, you'd have it." Others claimed his legal team threatened to sue critics online. The CEO denied all of it. In fact, he went out of his way to say the supposed posts from him, his wife, and his lawyers were fake. News outlets covering the incident also pointed out that these claims were unverified. They hadn't been confirmed. But in the chaos of internet outrage, fact checks don't move as fast as memes. The damage was already done. His name was no longer just attached to one bad moment. It was now linked to a wave of unproven but widely shared claims. And his reputation? It was slipping further by the day. Behind the scenes, the fallout was growing. Szczerek's company, DROGBRUK, had its online presence hijacked by scandal. Years of branding, PR, and business development, undone in a matter of days. Even though he insisted he had spent years supporting young athletes and kids through community programs, none of that mattered now. The viral moment had eclipsed everything. Meanwhile, the tennis tournament moved on. Majchrzak continued to play, although he eventually retired from the competition due to injury. But the video? That didn't go away. It kept circulating, reposted, replayed, reanalyzed, because now it wasn't just about a hat. What was supposed to be a small, joyful moment turned into a global spectacle, a digital case study in how quickly reputations can collapse. A kid went home disappointed. A tennis player had to step in to fix things. And a millionaire CEO became the villain of the internet, all for a souvenir he likely didn't even need. His apology may have hit the right notes, but the footage told its own story. One that millions saw for themselves. And it raises a bigger question. If the cameras hadn't been rolling, if the moment hadn't been caught on video, would there have ever been an apology? Or would the whole thing have quietly disappeared, just like so many other moments we don't see online? Because in the digital age, even the smallest actions can define you. And for Piotr Szczerek, one impulsive grab at the US Open became the moment that reshaped how the world sees him.